Hey guys, we're watching Volgar's videos, and this is a response to the creative one. He had a video of biggest tech letdowns or buyer's remorse. His was the Kindle Fire, but mine, I got 5. I'll try to name them off pretty quickly. I don't want to take too long. I've already done like 5 takes on this. I always talk too much. Alright, number 5 is Tetris Plug and Play. Basically, like the Pac-Man or Atari plug and plays that you see in the toy store, Walmart, Fred Meyer. Plug them in, you got 5, 10, 20 games that are just built into the system. Well, with this, it was just Tetris, and there's like 4 different game variations, like garbage, nothing, and then like blocks at the bottom. And it didn't seem like a very good value for 20 bucks. I mean, if you spend 20 bucks for the Atari one, you get 20 games. And for the Activision one, 20, and then you get Pac-Man, 5 games, but you know, you got Pac-Man. That's pretty much where the money is, Pac-Man. And there's also the Miss Pac-Man one, and you know, if there's only 5 games, at least they're lengthy games. Tetris is blocks go down, that's it. And there's only like different variations of that one game. The worst part though was, instead of having a joystick or a control pad, you had a big block that was that thick, and then your joystick was a block on top of that block. And it just made playing a puzzle game just frustrating, and you couldn't get the blocks down where you wanted to. It was just god-awful. Number 4 was a TV Now. I got it at Teen Challenge, which is a thrift store nearby, and I got it for 10 bucks. Bought it for 10 bucks. It was supposed to be kind of like an MP3 player with videos, and you plug into your satellite or your DVD player, and you can record your video while you watch it, so you can watch it on the go. Or you can put it in your computer, your SD card, and you could put videos right onto the SD card and play it as, you know, like an iPod or whatever, an MP3. The problem is that I think it had a really strange video format, and so you had to convert it, find what format it was, convert it to that strange format, and then maybe it would play. You could also put music on there or pictures, which I don't see the point. I mean, it sounded like garbage. There's no equalizer. It's pretty much get yourself a PSP. Even if a PSP was way more at the time or more now, it's still get a PSP, at least it works. Or, you know, just an iPod or Zune. Yeah, Zune. Zunes don't suck. I mean, at least they work. So the main problem with this thing was the screen is just horrible. It was blurry. It's like taking a picture this big, a video, and stretching it out to 2.5 inches. God awful. I tried to record Seinfeld on it. It was just so bad. Number 3, Play It Now. Not TV Now, Play It Now. Basically, it was an analog MP3 player. You plug it into your CD player to record your songs, and then you hit the button at the end of each track to separate them, and it was just horrible. It was 30 bucks. I didn't buy it. I got it for Christmas, but still, kind of counts because, you know, something you'd want for Christmas, and it turned out to be a complete letdown. I took it back, and I got Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe, and Slipknot Volume 3 back in 2005. And then back in 2005 is not really when MP3 players really caught on yet. Like, it would cost 50 bucks for 64 megabyte MP3 players, no screen, or 70 with one with 256 megabytes. And I think a 30 gig iPod was like 300 bucks, and a 20 gig iPod was probably 250, and the iPod Mini was still out, probably. Yeah, I think. Maybe it was 2004. Anyways, no, 2005 is when Volume 3 came out. I don't know what I bought. I'm pretty sure that's what I bought with it. Anyways, I remember so many times trying to record Disturbed Believe, and it was just so horrible. I couldn't get to record right. Yeah, you're better off just using tapes, really, honestly. And you know, you can get a Walkman tape player for like $5, or even a couple bucks at a thrift store, and you know, new maybe for 10 or so. Yeah, it was really bad. It did have potential. Not really. You're better off just getting a flash drive MP3 player and then going to your friend's house on a computer. I did it back then. Okay, number 2. for biggest tech letdowns, purchases, buyer's regrets, remorses. PS1. I don't have anything against PlayStation. PlayStation's good. The problem with it though is that I bought it off the whim. It was, you know, off the cuff, you know, what's it called? Just bought out of nowhere. Was at a Game Crazy in Salem. It was Commercial Street, and the Game Crazy on Commercial is always overpriced. They always, everything's overpriced, at least $10 more. The one on Lancaster, and I was thinking, oh, I got 30. It was 35 or 45. I can't remember. I know it was a lot for the time. I bought it in like 2002 or 3, maybe 2004. I can't remember, but it was when the PS2 was out. Obviously, I mean, and it was PS2 was popular, and it wasn't quite cheap yet, but almost cheap. It was around that time, and the PS1 would be like 20 bucks average price, and I spent like $15 more than what it was worth. It's before I had a computer, before I got into Craigslist, before Craigslist really caught on, and I spent 35 to 45. I can't remember exactly how much. I believe it's 45, and it was just too much, and I regret to this day spending that much money on the PS1. And I haven't really played it on it that much. I mean, I got Twisted Metal. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself. I bought The World's Not Enough, 007, because it would be a multiplayer game. But little did I know that the 007 on the PS1 had no multiplayer. So yeah, I got suckered in to buying a shitty game with no multiplayer, especially 007. I mean, it was okay, but you buy 007 for the multiplayer and it had none. I felt ripped off. And then I got Twisted Metal and Crash Bandicoot 2 and Crash Team Racing, which was the best game I got for it. And I got some uses out of it, but I never really got into a game that I ended up playing for a long period of time, except for Mega Man X4. That was the best game I got for it, and that's where I got the best usage on it, which I only spent $5 on, like a year or two after I got the PS2. Back when we had a Game Crazy in town. Okay, so the number one biggest worst tech purchases, buyer's remorses, or letdowns was the Cohen S9. I bought that a couple years ago, and I had a lot of hope for it. It had a lot of hype. Well, not really as big as an iPod or Zune, but basically it was supposed to be like the best MP3 player if you care about audio. It had like a 9-band equalizer, like 3D surround, basically a crap ton of custom equalizers and 3D and bass adjustments, and an OLED screen like the Zune HD before the Zune HD. I think it was before the Zune HD. Maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. Maybe it's about the same time as the Zune HD, but I liked the... I bought the Cohen because it had, you know, custom equalizer, as opposed to the Zune that only had 5 presets. But yeah, it was so bad. It froze up constantly. It was super buggy. It lagged when you was looking for your music. It would just freeze and then scroll. And then the biggest pain in the butt was the album art. You think all your music has ID3 support, and then they all have pictures for the album art with my previous MP3 player, but then I put it on the Cohen and none of them work. None of them had pictures except for like 2 CDs out of like the 7,000 songs I had, or I don't know, 30 gig, 16 gig. Okay, 16 gigs of music. I had like 2 CDs that had support. I have no idea why. And apparently you had to like, with every single CD, you had to put the album art on there by hand, manually. It was a headache. And the videos, I had to convert, like every video was supposed to have support for every format, but it really didn't. It was just a pain in the butt. And the worst, another bad thing was, I got flack for taking that back and giving it a negative review, and some people said, why didn't you update it? And I said, well, I did update it, but it just didn't work. And it was just a headache. So I took it back, got the Zune HD. Zune HD had problems. Well, basically, never had a YouTube app. Other than that, it would delete my music, but then later I found out that's just because I moved my music from one part of the hard drive to the other hard drive, and that would have happened with the iPod as well, which it has. But I'm happy with my iPod. It's got YouTube, crap ton of apps, and yeah, it's got a brighter screen as well. I remember the Zune. I was trying to watch a video, and it'd be so hard to watch a video because the screen was so dark. I do miss the Zune though. I wish the Zune would have had better support than what Microsoft gave it. Well, that's it for my video. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and if you got some horror stories from bad tech purchases, or if there was something you asked for Christmas, it was supposed to be awesome but it turned out to be a complete letdown, I'd love to see your top 5 or top 1. So, see you next time.